Captain America Brave New World, a film that used to be called Captain America New World Order until they got complaints. It seems that to many, that term has connotations of anti-Semitism, so maybe not great optics there, Marvel, but that is very much topical for this video, it turns out. And from the views on this trailer, Marvel may have messed up really badly with their audience, because 500,000 views on this in 9 days, compared to Daredevil Born Again, a relaunch of a Netflix Marvel series that used to be seen as the poor relation of the main MCU, that in 2 weeks got 14 million views. So, who's the poor relation now? Shoe on Head's latest video got 1 million views in a day. You'd think the Disney Corporation could outdo a woman making videos in her bedroom with a rabbit, but it seems not. I've not got a great deal of faith in this movie because it keeps on getting pushed back and they keep on doing reshoots, with some reports putting the budget at $375 million now. So let's have a look at this trailer. And it doesn't look that bad. There's not really much in it. The action doesn't look terrible. Captain America is kicking things and throwing his shield a bit, and somehow surviving a head-on impact with what strongly appears to be a fighter jet, and I'm still not really seeing Anthony Mackie as Captain America, I'm afraid. I think maybe Captain America will just always be Steve Rogers for me. Iron Man will just always be Tony Stark. War Machine will always be James Rhodes, and Spider-Man will always be Peter Parker. I also have serious concerns about Harrison Ford doing action scenes. He's frankly looking very frail. He's 82 years old. Please let the man retire onto a farm for God's sake to do whatever makes him happy. Probably crashing planes. Was that him in the fighter jet? I mean, at least there's action in there, and they managed to get Harrison Ford to at least pretend to almost smile, and I don't believe a word about Harrison Ford having fun doing this film.
I had seen actors in the Marvel movies have a really good time, and I thought, well, maybe I ought to get me some of that.
Because he seems to genuinely hate acting with a passion now. And I also have some concerns that, well, Marvel, you appear to have made the villain of your film, well, the US President, who it seems is Harrison Ford playing the character Red Hulk. I can only admire Marvel's restraint at not making it the Orange Hulk, and I have mixed feelings about a fight sequence in what appears to be America's National Mall, because it is visually striking with the cherry blossom in bloom. It's very pretty and a nice use of symbolism and juxtaposition, but this film once again seems to have its feet firmly planted in the camp of America bad. Are you really just going to keep on saying America bad over and over again while the governments of Russia and China and Iran are doing the things that they're currently doing? Seriously, Marvel, that's all you've got. Just more America bad, to the extent that you're making a British guy uncomfortable with your sheer levels of America bad. It seems I like America more than a lot of Americans do at this point. So, should you watch the movie? I don't know. Do you really like Anthony Mackie and Marvel movies? If so, maybe. I'd maybe wait until the film comes out and people can review it before you put any money down, because there's a distinct chance this movie will be terrible. I think Marvel needs to remember why Captain America was created in the first place. It seems long past time that Hollywood wakes up and smells the coffee on this, and on a lot of other things, because Captain America #1 was published on December the 20th, 1940. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are students of history, but there were some things going on in 1940. From 1939 to 1945, really. There was a looming need for America's people to be galvanised and motivated, and it worries me that in the face of now multiple looming existential threats to both America and the West, Hollywood seems to want to make the people of America the exact opposite of galvanised and motivated. It's not exactly a mystery why Captain America was created. It's kind of a giveaway if you look at the gentleman that Captain America is punching on the cover there of Captain America issue #1. Well, Captain America is carrying a shield that has the flag of America on it, and his outfit has the flag of America on it, and he has a big letter A on his forehead, which stands for America. The only thing about him that doesn't seem to stand for America is the corporation that owns him. So, why was Captain America like that? Well, Captain America was created by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. Neither of those were their original names. Jack Kirby was born Jakub Kurtzberg, and his family were originally Jews from western Ukraine. A lot of the creators of America's most famous comic book characters were Jewish, so it kind of goes without saying that they took a, frankly, very dim view of events going on in Europe at the time. Comics have long been a medium for spreading political messaging and propaganda. If you go back and read the initial run of Iron Man, you may be shocked at quite how often Iron Man ends up fighting communists, because Iron Man debuted in 1962, by which time America was firmly involved in the Cold War against the Soviet Union. Iron Man's first origin story did not involve Afghanistan like in the Robert Downey Jr. film. Oh no, they changed it. In the comics, it was originally in Vietnam. And once again, the Soviet Union's actions towards its Jewish population, including the pogroms, were not seen in a very good light by the creators of Iron Man. People like, once again, Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. Also not his original name. He was born Stanley Martin Lieber. And this all circles back around, because once again a major production has been undermined by the star coming out to say something silly before the film even comes out.
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, and integrity.
In essence, Anthony Mackie went full Rachel Zegler. Never go full Rachel Zegler. Honestly, it wasn't quite Rachel Zegler bad. I'll post a link to the full interview below. Anthony Mackie was in Italy promoting this exact movie when he said this. And that does come across as a bit bad for a number of reasons, because yes, one of the things Captain America is supposed to represent is America. And once again, it's very bad optics for the guy playing Captain Sodding America to be coming off like he doesn't want to be associated with America. So Anthony Mackie came out and tried to say how proud he was to be an American after this, and sorry, it's a bit late for that. And then the press came out to defend Anthony Mackie, and for me, just made it worse. Far worse. Paul Tassi in Forbes pitched in because of course he sodding did, saying ahead of the release of Captain America Brave New World, star Anthony Mackie went viral with his take on what Captain America represents, and that's not necessarily just America. So Paul Tassi just lied, because that's not what Mackie said. He didn't say that Captain America should not necessarily just represent America. He said he didn't think Cap should represent America at all. This is what he said, remember?
For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations.
One sentence he probably shouldn't have. Paul Tassi seems to think Mackie is being treated unfairly, because Chris Evans has also said some very silly things when he was Captain America, and he doesn't think Evans got the same backlash. Evans supposedly had this to say in 2011. To me, I'm not trying to get too lost in the American side of it. This isn't a flag-waving movie. It is red, white and blue, but it just so happens that the character was created in America during wartime. Cap just so happens to wear the red, white and blue. Firstly, that's a whataboutism, not really a defence of what Mackie had to say. Secondly, Chris Evans got rather a lot wrong there. And I'm not sure Marvel really hired Chris Evans for his brains, because no, Cap wasn't created during wartime. At least not wartime for America. America wouldn't enter the war for another year after Cap was first published. And no, it didn't just happen that Cap was created at that time. And no, it wasn't. It just so happens that his outfit is the American flag, you bloody idiot. He was punching Moustache Guy on the cover of issue 1. What do you mean it just so happens? Captain America was a deliberate expression of American patriotism, something that in the current day is probably sorely needed. We're currently in a time when Russia has its armed forces acting with hostility within the borders of at least 3 currently separate sovereign states. We have Vladimir Putin seemingly expressing his desire to reform the Soviet Union or the Russian Empire depending on the day, and some voices in Russian media suggesting that Russia should nuke America and occupy Europe, going as far west as Portugal. In multiple countries, Jewish people are once again being singled out and targeted. Conflict has once again reached Ukraine. So I don't think I'm wrong in asserting that this may not be the perfect time for your incessant America bad screeching. But Paul Tass's coverage was nothing compared to the coverage in the UK paper The Independent, who really went with the headline, Marvel star says Honourable Captain America is not so American anymore. Conservatives threaten boycott. The bust-up began after Anthony Mackie described the eponymous protagonist as a man with honour, dignity and integrity, and that such qualities did not currently represent America. And notice the parts of that headline that are in quotes there, because those are things Anthony Mackie actually said. I watched the whole segment with Anthony Mackie. The first sentence is a real reach and the second is frankly completely made up. I can't work out if these journalists are on Anthony Mackie's side or if they're deliberately trying to get him fired. Now, I'm starting to think Anthony Mackie is not being treated fairly as well, because now The Independent is trying to spin his words to weave yet another America bad narrative. And for the love of God, Marvel, can you please make a Captain America film without feeling the incessant need to take a dump all over America? Just because you don't like a president doesn't mean you have to hate the whole country. And you don't show love for a thing by destroying it.
If you only knew the power of one, the power of two, the power of many.